so hot. Whatever me. Oh my god, it's so hot today. So hot today. Yes. Oh, you know what happened? I came.
David, that's such a depressing look, man. That is such
I
a
came to
depressing look.
college, went to the turned
It's
the
like, fuck
handrail
my
on,
life.
It's very blue, eh?
It's so hot.
I'm just double checking because last week's stream, it sounded good, but the
Quality was too
quality was set too low, yeah. And there's this thing where it comes back and it tries to automatically set the quality. But I think we're okay on that. So then let's check the USB, the source settings.
I have no idea. I just like it's not going over.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, the white balance is like cranked way down. Hey, I'm not a vampire. There we go. I think that's got it. Yep, that's looking better. Okay, let me.
Oh no, you're gonna talk about arrays?
Oh, you're lying.
We're doing it. Let's see if I can get this roughly positioned. Somewhere around there. Okay, I think we are set here. Alrighty, so let's get started. I think we're ready to begin. So today we have some exciting stuff. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to introduce you guys to a new tool that Devin and I made to fix a problem because right now people forget to submit their pens to me. And I get a lot of them coming in like pretty late in the week and also sometimes not at all or the week later. I already had to give out some Fs because of that, which I don't like doing. But beyond the grade, setting the grade aside, I want to do a good job. And I can't do that if I'm getting your stuff so late. I will not have time to look at it and give you proper feedback if it's coming in late, right? No. And I've said that many times, and it's also in the documents for the class in Basecamp. I look in it 2 days after class, so that's Thursday. Then I look in it again the day before class to see if the feedback I've suggested has been implemented or not. And it's not just myself, right? Devin looks at them, Mike looks at it, Adam looks at it, but they can't do that if it's not there, all right? So what we're gonna do is change things up a little bit, and I think it will make things better all around. I'm going to show you a piece of software. You're actually going to enter your pen at the start of the class. And then class will begin when everybody has done that. So this way you cannot possibly miss giving me your pen. You'll also never be late, which is key. Okay, so and then the other nice thing about it is it's a little bit of a preview of some of the stuff that you'll be learning in coming semesters because we have like login and authentication enabled on there. And the code is viewable as well because we've done it in CodePen. So you can get a little bit of a idea of the kind of things you'll be able to make in the future if you keep studying and working hard like we've been doing. So let me put that tool up in Basecamp for you. So this is it right here. And I'm going to do this in debug view here. So I'm already logged in. So here's the thing to know about this tool. When you put the URL to your pen in here, it's locked. Once you put it in there, you won't be able to change it. All right? So the idea is when you get to class, you fork what you've been working on. Now you've got your new URL. And you're going to pop it right into here. You're going to see in real time that this counter is going up as people are submitting their URLs. When the counter, and we should have 30, and when the counter hits enough people, then we'll start the class. The other benefit of that as well is that my folks can actually monitor while you're working on that pen and be a little proactive in helping you out, because they'll have your pen that you're working in, okay?
You're supposed to put the link there.
Yeah.
Every day after class.
Start of class.
I'm starting,
At the start of class, yes.
but the link is gonna be about the last class we did, or
Nope, you should pick up the last class you did and then fork it. That way you've got a new one for each class that we're
but
doing.
What I mean is like for this link that we need to post, like for example for today,
Yeah.
we're gonna post now the link from since last class that we fixed the things, everything, and then we post today in the beginning of the class.
So today you're going to bring up your pen from the last class and then fork it, and you'll be working inside that fork today. So it's that fork that I want.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna work on this today in
Yeah.
the class,
Yes.
I'm gonna post this in the end of the class.
No, beginning.
In the beginning?
Yep.
Ah, okay.
Yep. Yeah. Because it'll be the same link no matter what, right? So let's just post it in the beginning. And then, while you're working away on it, it will be helpful in debug sessions as well, because you'll see that once your link is in there, this submit button becomes a view button. And I can click on that to bring up your pen that you're working in. So it will help me in terms of helping you debug your stuff as well. So, okay, so what it means is you got to be working on this stuff. If you're sitting in class and not doing anything, it's going to be real obvious. All right, now I'm not doing that to be mean. I really do want to help you. But think about what that means for me, right? Because there's 30 of you guys. If I spend, say, a half an hour each week looking at your stuff, 15 minutes the first time I look in it, going through your code, making some notes, 15 minutes the next time that I look in it, maybe answering some questions. Very easily, that can come up to more than 30 hours of work that I'm doing in the week. But do you know how many hours the school pays for? 4. They pay me only for the time I am in here in the class talking with you guys. Anything I'm doing on Basecamp, anything I'm doing to review your stuff, any feedback, I don't get paid for any of that. And that's time away from working in my studio. And then it's also my team's time because they're helping me. So it's really important to be organized. If I want to do this job right and make sure everybody gets feedback and everybody's learning, we got to be on our game. If the scheduling goes astray, then we're going to have a lot of problems. So this is for your benefit. This is not to make things difficult for you. And I think you will see as the semester comes closer to the end, and you're basically done already with this, and then just making it better, rather than scrambling to get a big final project finished, you'll be pretty happy about it. So, and then it's exciting for me. I like building software, right? So you guys are now like, my beta group for this thing. And each week, if you have ideas about it, ways we can make it better, I can do it, and we can make it something really useful for everybody.
I like the fact that my name is on top.
That's your favorite feature?
Because he knows you're lazy,
Oh yeah, that's true. You wanted to keep an extra eye out on me.
Idiot.
So let's give this a try, guys. I'm gonna send this link out through.
In like last night, I had it.
Okay.
Added more code when I changed the H4 to like.
Yeah, you posted something on Basecamp about that. Yeah. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
Undefined.
That's fine. We'll figure it out. I don't think I've done the date created part yet.
We did
So.
it, like I had it like last class,
Mhm.
but when we changed the code, then it started coming as undefined.
Okay. Well, we'll get that working today.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to iterate again, what you're going to do, I'm going to post this link. What you're going to do is bring up what you were working on last week, the one that you should have submitted through Basecamp, right? Then you're going to fork it for today so that you have a new copy. So each class, you're going to make this copy that you can work inside of. Then you can look back and see how you've improved over time, which is nice. All right, so while I'm doing this, bring up your stuff from last week and make that fork so that you've got a new URL.
Another very basic question.
Yeah.
Forking creates a completely new
Yes,
file, right?
it does.
Saging just saves the work that you had so far.
That's right, yeah. And you'll see when you go to your pen collection, there's a new one in there. So probably when you fork it, you'll want to update the title to say like today's day or what we're working on.
I thought that by saving it was kind of like working it, but I realized it auto saves anyway.
Right, yeah. Okay, so let's see how this goes, guys. This is like alpha software here. So let me jump into INM 220. There we go. So on my side, what I've done is like the folks that are helping me and helping you, they now will have this expectation. They're going to look at your stuff on Tuesday, and then they'll look at it again on Thursday. So moving forward, you should always see it happen that way. It's very difficult without the scheduling for them to keep up with it. If pens are being submitted whenever, we can't really plan, and you know, quality of our service will suffer. I don't want that. So let's give this a try. I'm pretty excited about this. This is kind of cool.
It feels like I'm in a video game right now. I'm the character.
Yeah? Okay. So that I can see, because otherwise, I won't have a unique pen for the new class. So let's say in the future you wanted to say, oh, you know, I finished that lesson. There'd be no way to know. You know what I mean?
I'm
In the same one, yeah.
But, like,
And I'd only see like the
when
modified
when
date.
I fork,
Yeah.
I don't need to go and open the new one I just forked. I can send
No,
you the link
it's-
from the one I'm using now.
Yeah,
I'm
let's,
gonna fork just to save that like separate, each class separate.
as soon as you fork it, as soon as you hit the fork button, you'll see the URL changes up top. And you're now working in your new copy.
When I fork, I work in the new one.
Yeah, it automatically puts you in the new one. That's a good question. So let's do it together, right? Because I want to make sure that everybody's getting the benefit out of this. So I'm going to post this, and you will see that when you go there, you're going to be seeing this login. So the login, put in your email address like you use on Basecamp, and then you can pick any password you want, and you should be able to complete the login there. Let's see how it goes.
Oh, did you post it?
Yeah. So first off, get yourself logged in. So use the same email like you use on Basecamp, and then pick out any password that you want.
A new feature of Basecamp, or it's just?
No, this is totally custom made. Yeah. But if you use your email from Basecamp, then I'll be able to match them up. You know what I mean? So it's helpful to me. Let me know how it goes, eh? This is exciting. If that's what you're gonna be working in, yeah, then hit your submit and you'll see, boom, and then, wow, 3 people have already submitted. That's great.
You wanted to submit the last class?
No, you're going to fork last class so that you have a new URL. So just to be clear, guys, when you hit the fork button on a pen, it just copies what you were working on, and you're automatically put into that new copy. So you don't have to refresh or anything like that. You just hit fork, and you should have a new URL. Doesn't matter. That's fine. As soon as I have your pen, like, you can do anything you want. And I'll be able to see whatever changes you do. So let's give this a try. I'm going to log in as well.
Oh, got it.
So a couple nice little touches I wanted to point out to you guys. Check it out when you click in the little email field, and you get that little pew. How it like does that nice little shrink upwards like that. That's pretty sweet, right? So that's a part of material design. You would see that in a lot of Google applications. I'll be showing you guys how to do that stuff. So I'm gonna go in here. Go. Doo-doo-doo. So now I'm logged in. Great. So we've got 10 people who have submitted. And then let me try this feature because I'm hoping it's going to work. If I click on this view button, it should take me, boom, right into your pen. Pretty sweet, right? So this is, because you know what I usually have to do for this? A Google spreadsheet. I literally have a Google spreadsheet where I copy and paste your links every freaking class and then go down it to provide the feedback, right? So this tool is going to make my life easier, and it's going to make it easier for me to get other people helping you out as well, which is great. Okay, so for anybody who's just arriving, you should be getting a link from Basecamp to this tool that I've made along with Devin. And you're going to use this to give me your URL at the start of the class. All right? So you're going to bring up your work from the previous class, fork it, then copy that URL, and put it beside your name for submitting. Looking good, looking good. See if we can get some more in here. We're up to 11. It's great. I'll give you guys a few more minutes. Hey, 12. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the regex.
Are we supposed to do like this on ours?
Yes.
Because I thought you were just explaining to Mike.
Oh. No, it's for everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Everything. Oh, God.
Yeah. It's basically just to format currency and put in the commas so that it appears nicely anywhere that you need to show money.
It's to do like this.
Yeah, so you've got it right
No,
there.
this is Emirates. Mine doesn't
Oh,
have
okay, all right. Okay,
Yeah,
well, we will review it today, so we should be able to.
The thing, but it's not.
Okay.
That's one.
We can get that working really easy, no
Okay.
problem.
And also, let me ask one thing. I was thinking.
Yeah.
When you get to Uber and you finish the ride, they ask you to give stars for the.
Yeah, yeah.
When you give like the stars, it's like similar to this.
Yeah.
Like you put how many stars and it makes the count
Mhm.
and give the result. And when you don't give, it's just like delete you or put as like 5. Consider 5.
Oh, does it?
I
It
don't-
automatically?
Yeah, I think.
Ah,
automatically
no,
goes-
really?
yeah,
That's
why-
terrible.
Yeah, because sometimes you forget and then when you open the app,
Yeah.
it just disappear. But I realized that I think it's going like 5 stars.
Oh my God, that would be so bad.
Yeah, that's why.
That
I was
is,
just-
they're a shady company, you know?
Yeah, that's why.
Like, they do
I
some
think
pretty,
it's possible.
yeah.
Like I'm not sure, but I realized that maybe it's like this.
It's very possible because like their terms of service let them do whatever they want. Basically, when you agree to use the app, like they can do anything they feel like. God, I don't know about those guys. I really liked Halo. They were a great a ride company. Yeah, they were here in Toronto before Uber, but no, they as soon as Uber came, they shut down because they're like, we won't be able to compete with those guys. It's too bad. They were really good. It was actually a little more expensive, and that's why they shut down. So we're stuck at 12. Anybody else getting in on this?
Why the other 12 of 30? My God, people come.
Is Jonathan in the house? Do we have Jonathan? We don't have Casra. Micah, you're here, brother. You can get in there.
I couldn't get in though.
Oh, okay. So let's log out here and okay. Do you want to throw your email address in there and pick out a password? Here, actually, let me refresh this just to be sure.
Is it the same password I use in Object?
You can use any password you want. Yeah.
Any password?
Yep. This is basically registration right here, so you can choose whatever password you like. Yep, and then click on that. There you go. Yeah. So you'll need to log in with the same email and password, but it is working.
So this was posted on Basecamp, right?
Yes.
Because I went on Basecamp, I couldn't find it October 11th.
What's that?
I couldn't find it October 11th. Because today's October 11th.
Yep. So the message I posted was called, let's try this new tool. So that should be the most recent message in there, right here. Yeah. Let's take a second. It's the first time we're doing this. Now we're up to 13. Give it a couple more minutes. A couple minutes, I'm going to kick it off and get started. No. I'm not doing this to beat people down. This is to help. But it does kind of make it obvious who's here and who's not. You know, just saying. Like, I don't really agree with taking attendance. You know what I mean? But the thing is, because like you could be tuning into this from home, right? I've got the stream going. But the thing is, if you're not here and you're not participating in some way, you're gonna fall behind. That's, you know, if I don't call you out on that, I'm not doing my job very well, am I?
Just grab a sweep if somebody doesn't sleep.
I think, you know, for this coding stuff, it is important to be participating in our sessions together. This stuff is hard to pick up, you know, without participating. It's very, very hard afterwards. You can look at the code, but you would miss all the questions and debug sessions and all that stuff. So far, the tool seems to be working pretty good. I'm happy about that. Because I can tell you, like, it is held together with duct tape right now. We built this in, I don't know, about 3 hours, like the design and the code and everything. But just while we're waiting to get a few more people in here, some of the stuff you're seeing there, you're going to learn to do. So that login step, that is like, that has full security implemented and so forth. The real-time data, you notice that as people are submitting, this is updating in real time. And I can just sit there and watching it, right? So that kind of thing is really cool. And I'll be showing you how to do that as well. So the stuff we're doing right now in our semester is all kind of laying the groundwork for you being able to do that. So imagine now if you were able to do that kind of thing with your crowdfunding page, right? Where people can log in, they can make a membership and so forth. You'd be able to make that thing actually work. You would be able to actually create a crowdfunding campaign. Pretty cool. So that's where we're headed. And also a lot of these nice design touches that we'll be learning, which are part of material design. This is built using a couple of frameworks. It's using Angular. It's using another one called Angular Material for the design portion of it. So, you know, moving into third semester, you know enough of code, we'll be able to start utilizing some of these pretty powerful frameworks for doing things. So that's exciting. You know, the sky is the limit. Yeah.
I actually tried making a login session, and I used Angular 2 for it.
Yeah.
It was
Angular 2 already, wow.
But it's pretty tedious though. I came close, but then I got stuck.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn with it, for sure. But that's what I'm here for.
Reading the strings was like one of my issues. Reading the word.
All right, anybody else getting in on this? Anybody having trouble with it? Not yet. Sorry. I haven't built that feature yet. So you're kind of stuck with the one you picked.
Yeah, because I typed it in, but then like it wouldn't work.
It may not actually. Right. So you've got the wrong one. Yeah. Let me do something. I can get that fixed up for you. So you guys are going to get a little glimpse at what is running this thing. So let me jump into this tool called Firebase. And Firebase is awesome. This, again, is something I will be showing you guys. We might get one class in towards the end of this semester on how to use this. This is the back end, right? So usually if you're making something like this, you have to make a database. You know, like if you, say, have a WordPress blog, you have a database like MySQL, that kind of thing. There's a lot of work to setting up a database and a lot of security things you have to worry about. I will be showing you guys a method that is far superior to that. Very, very easy to set up. When we get to it, you'll be up and running inside of one class with a backend that supports real-time data and secure login and authentication, like this tool that I've just showed you. I'm not lying when I say we made that tool in 3 hours, including all of the back end. So let me show you what's running this thing right here. If I go to my console, and here's my back end, and I can go right into the database here, and here's all you guys, right? So let me find, So you can see like these are all people who have submitted their URL right now. So that's pretty cool. And as they are being submitted, this updates in real time. Pretty nice, right? So I can also go to the users. If I go into the authentication here, here's all the users. So these are all you guys. Basically, I've got like an open registration set up, which is what is allowing you to pick whatever password and email that you want. And then as soon as you do, here you are, down in here. So what's the email address we want to reset? This one here? Okay, cool. So this is, this is built into Firebase. This is your administration area here. So I can actually delete this account. Boink. There we go. So you should be able to just redo it now. If you refresh your page, you can pick whatever email and password you want. Pretty nice, right? For 3 hours work, baby, that's not bad.
I tried to put that part that I didn't put here,
Mm-hmm.
and it showed.
Okay. Might be a curly brace in the wrong place, possibly. Why don't we start off with getting that going, and then that will be our review.
Oh, okay, good.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I think there's been enough time for using the tool here. I'm liking it. We'll definitely be using this. So let me exit out of Firebase. And yeah, let's kick it off here. So maybe we can start off with some review. I'm gonna exit out of here for the moment. I'll keep that up for now. Get rid of this. All right, so let me bring up the October 4th session. We can do a little review on what we've done previously. Okay, so here's our October 4th. So what did we accomplish in the last session? 2 things. We worked with something called a static function, and we worked with something called a singleton. So just by way of a quick review, static functions are used a lot in kind of utility classes, little tools that you can use for common things. So some of them are built into JavaScript, like we looked at the math function, and we saw like you can say math.floor or math.ceil, and we used it for things like, taking 3.14 and reducing it down to 3, useful little things like that. It doesn't really affect logic, but you would use it all the time inside of your programming. So static functions allow us to create that same kind of functionality. So the first thing that we were trying to do was make a little something that could take any kind of number and format it into currency. So it would add a $sign, it would add in the comma, and we can see it working here, basically. That's the first place we kind of got it working. So why don't we start off with a little debug session, and we'll kind of do that one more time, just to see how we did it previously and get ourselves going, because we're going to be adding a couple more static functions into that same project status there. These functions are going to allow us to fill in this, because right now this is just a fake number, and we want this showing how much money is being pledged for real from our data. So we'll get that working. We've also got this days remaining area that we could get working. And we've also got towards the top a little one we've missed, the date created, and we could get that working. And then also, I'm missing right down here how many backers there are. So right now I know I've got, I think, 3 backers, and I should be able to show that inside of here. So if we can get those things working, then the project information is basically complete, which would be pretty sweet, because the next thing we would move on to is showing that list of the backers and their levels like gold and silver and so forth. So we're making pretty good progress here. So let's dive on in. I've got a session set up for the 4th. Let me bring that up, and I'll go into the professor mode so we can move on to our new stuff. All right, here we go. Jump into Basecamp here. So we're on the live session for October 11, and we're actually going to start off with a little debug session. Ooh, we're up to 15. That's exciting. 50%. That's a pass, baby. We can do better. We can do better. Do you want to shoot me your URL in the chat window? And let's get her going. So let's do a little thing, and we're going to get the we're just going to do one more time our little formatting function, and see if we can get the money formatting, and that'll give us a little reminder of what static functions do. Yeah.
Was not supposed to put money because it's a recipe, so I think I have a problem.
I think so too. Yeah. Like the project is to do a crowdfunding page. So, but I would love to help you adapt it for something else too. Like let's take a look at it together. We'll make it work. Yeah. But maybe for the project you can figure out, you know, like you're crowdfunding a new restaurant or something like that. Okay? All right. All right, let's take a look at this one here together, and let's see if we can get the money formatting happening here. So we're going to be looking in the project status, right? Ah, okay. I see what's going on. Oh, here we go. So you got the right idea with your function here, but you just need to put it inside project status. Here we go. So let's take this, and we're going to, oh, you actually have it here. You've got it inside of here already. So this is good to go. You probably just need to use it. Okay? So let's take another little search here for project status. So it's there. Okay. Okay, I think this is ready to go. It just needs to be used. Okay, let's see here. So, there's 2 steps to it. The renderer needs a function that can select the area that the funds should be shown in and then write it into it. But before it does that, it's going to use this new function to format it to money. Okay? So let's take a look here. First off, I want to see if there's like a this I think is maybe extra. Great. There we go. Alrighty. So let's take a look in the design here. And where do we want to show this money? We want to show it right here where this $5,000 is. So let's look in the HTML and see where that is. Oops. Okay, right here. This is good. So if we want to be able to set that dynamically inside of there, there needs to be a selector. So we've been using attributes in those elements to make our selectors. So let me add one in here, and I'll call it project goal. Okay? We're going to need that because JavaScript is going to need to know where it should put this information. Right? So let's head on over in here. And maybe we can use this print project info to screen inside of here. Take a look at what we've done here. We made query selector select any H1 that had the project name attribute. So we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it for the project goal now. So we could do something kind of like, we could do something like this. We could say document dot query selector, and in here, this is why we needed to put this little project goal attribute in here, because now we can say, okay, give me the paragraphs, and then cut it down to ones that have the attribute project goal. This is called our selector. This is us saying, that's where I want to show this new information. So then I can say inner HTML equals, and here I could put, whatever I want, and we should see it showing up. Oh. Hey, why are you not showing up here? Something wrong with my selector? Project goal. That's interesting. What's that? Let me add it. Paragraph project goal. Doop, 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 doop. Okay, let me check my console. Maybe I've got a bug. Yeah, we do have some bugs here. Let's see. Yeah, it's not working because there's some other bug in here causing problems. Looks like it has to do with this name, Fabiana. Let's see. Property, Fabiana undefined. All right, let's do a little debug here, guys. Let's figure it out. Okay. Oh yeah, this is missing, okay, this is missing some stuff here. So in the last class, there was 2 things we did. we did this static function, but we also turned data into a singleton. All right. When we turn it into a singleton, we never say new data anymore. We always say data.instance. Now the reason we do this, the reason a singleton exists, is so that there can only ever be one copy of it running. All right, you guys remember that from the previous class?
There can only be one copy of.
Yeah, because we don't want to have more than one copy of this data out there. Any changes that happen, it should all be happening in this one data, which is the way a database would work. You saw Firebase a second ago. If we were to take this and add a backend onto it, like Firebase or MySQL or something like that, you would want to make sure that it knows there's only one copy of the data. So let's do that part. We will turn this into a singleton real quick fast here. Let's take a look in the data. Could be it's already started. Let's check it out. So here's our data, and we're looking for a get instance. Ah, okay, that's what we need. All right, let me bounce into mine for a second here, so I can show you what we're talking about. Let me close some stuff. Too much stuff open. Okay, let's take a look at our singleton here. So here's my data class. And if we go down a little bit, yep, we got all that, we got all that. Hey, what's going, wait a minute. This is the wrong one. This is not correct. Darn it. Just give me a second. Let me go to all right, let's take a look here. Okay. So we're looking at this one right here. We're giving a static function to the data class that will allow us to turn it into a singleton. Now the whole reason we're doing that is so that there will only ever be one copy of the data running. So if anything updates the data or anything looks in the data, we'll know that it's getting the right information. So I'm going to grab this static function here. Let's jump into here. Boom, just like that. Okay. Now we make a little variable that keeps track of if the data has been created yet. So let's do that first. I'm going to say let data instance equal, and I started off with null. Okay. So let's get rid of these because we don't have tester anymore. And now let's look in the load data right here. Yeah, so where it used to say new data, instead we now say data.instance. Just like that. So now anywhere we need to look at that data, we can just say data instance. We don't have to say new data or make a variable for it or anything like that. So it makes it a lot simpler for us to talk to the data class. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me clear that out. I'm gonna fork this, Petra, so I can go to town on it. But let's get this working together here. Okay, so it's saying employee level is not defined. Let's see. Let's check our class. Because it is backer level rather than employee level. So let's make this backer level. There we go. And then, do we see anywhere it's tester? Oh, down here. So this tester can now be replaced with data instance. There we go. Oh, that's looking promising, right? Because over here, we've now can see got the data, and we see this 170. That's looking pretty good. And hey, look at that. It got my little blah, blah, blah. So this is basically in good shape at this point. So give a little thought to what we just did there. We turned the data into a singleton. So now anytime we want to use it, we just say data instance. We don't have to say new data or make a variable or anything like that. That's pretty nice. Now the only other thing we really need to do is use that data instance to get the information about the project goal, because now our renderer is able to update the screen. So we should be able to put that information on the screen now. And that's really everything we did in the last class. We just took a little more time with it. So let's complete it. So let's see, can we get the project goal? So let's look in the data. And we've got one called goal right here, which is 5,000. So let's update our renderer, because it's already getting that information. And we'll say info.goal, I think, should work. So now, yep, it's 5,000. Great. So the only other thing left to do is to format it. So it's got the $sign and the comma. And we've got a function to do that right now. Let's take a look at that function. So here in project status, we've got this one called format to currency. This can take any number and turn it into money, basically. So let's use it. Down in our renderer, we can now say project status, the name of the class, dot format to currency. And we give it the money amount. I think it worked. Yeah, $5,000, baby. That's looking good. Yeah, nice. That is really everything we did in the last class there. And that was like 90% complete right there. Just a couple of small little things, okay? So, just so you know, in the future, I can get someone to look at that and help you with it even before you've asked a question. Like they're willing and waiting to help you out with it, which is why I've introduced this new tool, because it would not surprise me if they're looking at your stuff right now. Okay, so I think we're going to see a lot of great improvements in progress here. Not that we're not doing great. We're doing very, very well up to now. Let me save this and give you this fork. Am I right when I'm saying Petra, or is it like Pietra? Pietra. Okay. Let's see what Mike's got going on here. This is some good review we got going here. So Mike. Oh, okay. All right, let's check it out. Shall we see if there's anything in the console? I did see there's something there. It's also looking pretty spiffy up here. I think you guys would agree. It's got a little bit of customization going on. That's nice. All right. Cannot read property toString of undefined. Okay. Let's find that. Let's look for the toString. Oh. So that means that whatever is being given to this function as amount probably isn't valid. It's maybe null or an undefined or something. So let's look for where this format to currency is being used. You guys would notice I make a lot of use of this search. It's pretty helpful. So, okay, so here where it says info.goal, this apparently is not a valid number. So let's look in the data and see if there's a goal in the data. Oh, capital G, G. That's what's going on. So maybe we can make this one lowercase g. And yeah, there you go. I think that's gotten rid of the bug. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, I think, now the only thing else I'm wondering, let me change this number just to, oh, okay, because this is 10,000, but it's not showing up in here, right? So that makes me think maybe the selector can't find that field yet. So let's look into HTML. Here, let's go to the renderer. And let's see what it's looking for. So right here, it's looking for paragraph with the project goal attribute. So let's look over here in the HTML and see if there's a project goal. Paragraph, project goal. It does look pretty good. Mind if I fork this? Let's do it. Let's see, because I'm seeing the 10,000 formatted over here. It's just not putting it on the screen for some reason. So that's freaking me out a little bit. It's
remember that my method of coming up with the different levels is a tad different to what you came up with.
Fair enough.
That could be it. I don't know.
There's no errors in the console, right? So that seems okay. I'm just a little curious what's going on here. Project goal, paragraph, project goal, inner HTML, project status, format to currency. Oh, I think I might know what's going on. Let's go look in the project status again. It might be missing the return. Nope, no, there it is there. Where is this console log coming from? I'm really curious why I'm seeing this over here. Let me look for your console logs. Got the data. Okay, pledge total.
At the very, very bottom is the project status console.
Oh yeah, okay. This looks pretty good to me. Project status. Let me just throw something in here to see if it's finishing the render. Yeah, that's okay. Let's see what it thinks the info.goal is. Let's see. Yeah, so that's okay. It really just looks like this line here is not finding. Okay, so if that's the case, Mike, when the code is all fine and yet it's not finding it with the selector, then it may mean there's something wrong with your HTML. If it's missing a closing div or something like that, then that could cause that problem to happen. Here, let's see if we can find that real quick fast. I'm going to click on the tidy HTML right here. And let's see if anything weird jumps out at us. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, pretty good. Stat item, project 5,000, H1.
It's supposed to be of 5,000?
Yeah, it should the inner HTML should really just overwrite anything that's in here. So let's try this. I'm going to do the same thing that we did to get Petra's working. I'm just going to hard code it at first and see if that shows up. If it doesn't, then we've got some other problem. So here, let's clear the field for a second, and we're just going to comment out the other stuff. And then in here, I'm going to just hard code this. And it's still not getting it. You know what I mean? So that makes me feel like there's definitely something wrong in the HTML, like something not closed. Let's see, there's a paragraph, closing of paragraph, open close of H1, open close of div. Here, let me try targeting your project backers here. Because if it doesn't find that either, then that really makes me think there's an HTML problem. Yeah. Yeah. See how we're getting console log saying can't set property inner HTML of null. So that means it can't find it with those selectors. And usually that's going to be because there's something malformed in the HTML. So I think you got to do a little digging there. So I think none of your query selectors are currently working. Oh. I really want to find it, man. Let's see. What can we do? Let's see. Can we get this? So it's print project info to screen. Okay, let's go nuts with console log for a second here. Printing to screen, and you guys sing out if you see something I'm missing. So there's a printing to screen. Let's do something here. You can actually make a variable for the query selector here. And console log it. Which can be helpful for debugging. Let's see what you got for me. Yeah, okay, so it's finding that one. So see what I did there? Like I can actually console log your query selector here, and then if I hover on it, it'll highlight it from my console log. That's pretty handy, right? So let's try the same for one of the other ones. We know that one it can find. So let's look at the problem one here, this one down here. And we'll say, Sound selector can find it. Do we just have a typo? Is that possible? Maybe we didn't all caps inner HTML?
Is the issue the dollar sign not appear or the comma?
Say that again?
What is the issue on this code? Like the dollar sign don't appear or just the comma?
None of it. It's not updating anything in that field. Oh, there it is. Dude, I think we just had a typo in there. Yeah. I think it might not have been all caps, because that's the only thing I've changed there. I think that was it. So let me update that. And this could be like info.goal. I think that should be showing us the 5,000 or 10,000. Yep, that's great. So now we can format it with our project status dot format to currency. That's it, right?
Yeah, it was just the L.
Ah, it was like lowercase?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that, don't feel bad. That has hit me many, many times because it's a very unusual way they made that variable. Usually variables are camel case, and somehow they didn't do that. All right, so another soul saved. Does anybody want me to take a look at theirs before I jump on to some new stuff? We're gonna start off with some simple things, and then we'll, TJ, all right. Oh, sure, why don't we take a look at that? Yeah, let's do it. So you're good on that, eh, Mike? Yeah. I'll close that one out. So TJ is being proactive here. He is working on getting this date showing up here. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what we got. Let me just close out of here and back into here. Okay. So this could be crucial if we're gonna back TJ for real. Wait, did you make your own video, dude? Yeah. All right, we're watching it. Sign me up. I like it. That's cool, man. All right, so let's see what we got in here. I'm going to take a look at the renderer, and let's see how it's trying to show that info on the screen. So there's our backer level, there's our renderer.
The document, yeah.
Oh, the date created?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's looking for an H4 date created. Yeah, let's check that out. So I'll do a search for date
It's right there.
created. Oh, perfect. Yeah, so that's good. And it is finding it because that is getting updated, but then it's just showing an undefined. So let's take a look in the data and see if there's a date created property in our data. Oh, it's created date. Yeah, so let's copy that one. I like that it's September. That's pretty nice. And right here, update that to created date. Ah, and there you go. There you go. That's cool. Like you totally had it down. That is the process. You put an attribute in so that you can create your selector in JavaScript, and then you set its inner HTML to be whatever value you're getting from the data. That's very good. That's very good. You're figuring out that process. Alrighty. Okay, so I think we're pretty warmed up. Time to move on to some new stuff, because we've got a couple more properties that we want to get showing. Now we've seen how to update the date, so that's great. Let's focus on the things we don't have yet, such as this is not yet dynamic. We're kind of faking it right now, and we want to be able to show the actual amount. Now to do that, we're going to have to do a little bit of work, because we need something that can add up all the pledges, and we don't have that yet. So we're going to make that. The other one that we could knock off pretty quickly to get started would be the total number of backers. That one won't be too difficult for us, so maybe we can start with that. And that will let me also show you some properties of arrays and objects that are really useful for us. So let's do it. I'm going to exit from TJ's here. Did you get that working, man?
No, I'm looking for it.
The only thing we did was we updated the variable name.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, cool. All right, so let me exit out of here. And go back to my professor mode session. One thing I'm noticing is like it hasn't saved my updates here. So give me 1 second just to turn my thing into a singleton. Yeah, somehow it didn't seem to save my singleton. So it was let data instance equal null was the first thing. Then in my data, we added this special little static function. Oop. Copy. Copy paste is letting me down. Yeah, because I think everybody's got this by now. There we go. And then in my backer level, there we go, and I think that's all in good shape. Yeah, looking good. Or wait, not looking good. Oh, one more. Am I still using tester in here somewhere? Oh. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to do one pretty easy thing to start off with. Let's begin with that. If we look in the data, in our functions, we've got this one here called getAllBackers. We can actually use that because all we really need is to get all the backers and then count how many there are. And that'll tell us how many people have pledged money for this thing. So this isn't going to be too difficult for us. Let's go down to our little toolkit, project status, and we go inside of there And let's make ourselves another little tool. Let's call it like get total number of backers. Now this is where the fact that we turned the data into a singleton becomes really helpful for us, because we can now use data inside of our project status. I'll show you how easy it is. Let's do this. Let's say let all backers equal data.instance dot, and now we can call any of the methods that are in data here. So we've got this one called getAllBackers. Let's call it data.instance.getAllBackers. Now just for a second, let's take a look at that data. If we go back up into the data class, take a look at backers. Backers right here. And we've got Bob and Felicia. I always hear laughs. What's going on? So I'm going to show you something new, which is a handy little feature of objects. So let's go back into our static class right here, and I'll show you something neat. You can do something like this. Let's start with a console log, and I'm going to say Object.keys on that all backers. So we've only written basically 2 lines of code here. And I think yours will look exactly like mine. In a second, we're going to test it. So the nice thing about these static functions is you can use them anywhere you like. Anywhere in your code, you can use them. So let me try this. I'm going to go right down to the very bottom, and I'll just say project status dot, and what did we call it? It's some big long name we gave it. I've already forgotten it. Get total number of backers. I'm going to actually copy that so I don't make a typo. And at the very bottom here, I'm going to call that function. And let me take a look at my console. And you see what I have on the very bottom? It's an array. And it has 2 names in it, Bob and Felicia. This little Object.keys, that's a super, super useful thing for us. It will basically give us all the names of our backers. So if we have all the names of the backers, we could count how many names we have, and we'd know how many backers there are. It's pretty cool, right? So we're pretty darn close here. I'm going to go back up to the project status, and we'll do one more thing. Because you guys will probably remember that arrays have a property called length. And length tells us how many items are in the array. So right here, we can say return all backers dot length. Now if we go down to where we're calling that function, we can actually log it out. Total number of backers. What? Undefined. Get total number of backers. I got a typo? We are right here. Oh, I'm so dumb. I deleted the object keys stuff that I just showed you. I'm so dumb. Like I just deleted the object keys stuff that I showed you. So it should be like this. Object.keys. There. So see on my console now? Yep, nope. That is all we need to do for that. So take your time and give it some thought.
I'm almost there, Tim. I'm almost there.
So let me sort of say step by step what this is doing. The first thing, I'll be right with you. The first thing we're doing is, here's data instance. That's our singleton. So anytime you see that, just know it's the data class we're talking to. And that class has a function called getAllBackers. When we call that, it gives us an object. And that object is exactly what we see right up here, which is called backers. So we're getting all of that back. When we call Object.keys, we're saying, give me just the keys, which is the names of our backers here. Right? So the way it works with objects, you always have a key and a value, and in between, you have this little colon. So Bob is a key, and then this object is the value. Felicia is a key, this object is the value. So when we say Object.keys, we're saying, oh, forget about all those values. Just give me the keys. So it gives us all the names of our backers. When we have that, we can say, well, how many are there? By saying .length. Length tells us how many items are in the array. All right?
Did you need the console log?
Nope, the console log, I have at the very bottom, and it looks like this.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. I want you to get it showing up in the console. We'll get that far, and then I'm going to see if you can get it showing up on the screen. I think you could. I think you could make it work. Yeah.
I don't know why the class doesn't work, class project state.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that there is the yellow letter. The class
Yeah. Something looking funny
I
there.
click the thing
Uh-huh.
to show this, and then my console is very good. So I don't know why.
Okay. Can you copy the URL and?
Yeah, I already put.
Oh, okay. Let's take a look. While you guys are getting that console working, I'm going to take a look here. We can see if we can figure out this one. from Nari. Okay. Is this the right one I'm in? Am I in the right one? This is you? Okay, okay, cool. Because I don't see the bug. Did you save? If you save, I'll refresh. Okay. Okay, we'll figure it out. Okay, so we've got some kind of bug showing here. And let's see what we've got. So here's project status. The first thing I'm doing is I'm clicking beside the little opening curly brace to see if it highlights the closing one, which it does, so I think that's okay. And then we've got static get total bagged. That looks okay. That looks like that's closed okay. It's all looking pretty good there. Let me check the console. Interesting. Okay. Indubitably. Let's see if we can figure this out. Static get total backs is fine. Static get total number of backers looks good. Object keys, data instance get all backers. This all looks good to me. And this looks good as well. It keeps giving me this little red one, like there's something it's not expecting. So this makes me think the problem might not be in project status. Could be above us here, we're missing a curly brace on the data. Oh, snap! That's what it was. That's what it was, yeah. But it was showing us the error at project status because that's the first time it hits a problem. So I think that's it. So let's see if it's working now. Get pledges for backer by name of undefined. Okay. Get pledges for backer by name. Oh, okay. Nope, that's fine. That's all good. I don't think that's where the problem is. Yeah. I think maybe it's just not getting a name. Let's see where this is being called. Looks like this one. Oh, okay. I'm going to check your data class and see if the singleton is set up okay. Let's take a look. So it would need that static function inside of, okay, yeah. That is what is missing. Okay, so you have it almost completely right because you did update it to say data.instance, but we just need one little change to your data class so that it knows what that instance is. So that will look like right here. This little one. So let me grab that. Let's put it into yours. There we go. And then this is looking pretty good. Yeah, yeah. Good. I was looking for this because that one is so easy to forget about. This is the little variable that's keeping track of if the data has been created or not. So it's good that you have that in there. And I think now anywhere you're calling data.instance should be working. So it looks good. Let's see. Can I fork this one? Let me fork this and we'll just do a good check while we're in here. So, okay, so where we're seeing toString of undefined, I think it's the same that Mike was seeing at first.
Yeah,
I believe we saw that, yeah. Yeah, so I think what was causing that was a problem with the variable name for the project goal. Let's take a little look at that area. So we've got format to currency, project info to screen project data. So let's look in the renderer. And we've got info.goal. Oh, wait, this one right here. Aha! So we're calling format to currency, but we're not giving it any money. There's no value in there. So this one would not be working yet. We would have to give it some value. So let's try. Let's give it like 6,000.
Okay, so you don't have to put the info.go within those brackets.
You can put any number in there, but info.go is a number. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. All right. I think you're in pretty good shape there. We are seeing something saying all backers is not defined. Let's find that. Let's get this working well while we're in here. Oh, it's just a typo now. In line 82, it's a lowercase b. So if we just make that the same, boom! Oh, look at all your stuff. It's all working. Yeah. Okay, let me send you a fork. Oh, we're up to 20. Nice. Getting popular.
My code, please.
Yeah, let's check it out.
The last one, no.
Yep. She got in there before you, man. Would it be cool if it put the time on there? You could see how fast people got in there. Okay, this is Nita, right? All right, let's take a look here. Let's see what we got. Oh, you know what? I think you have an extra curly brace here. See that one? I think that one. Oh, that's looking better. Oh, okay. I think I know what's going on here. You are missing one little thing. Actually, you're missing a few things. So first, see how it says data instance is not defined? This is the one I was mentioning to Nari. It's really easy to miss. this is where we go instance equals null. Okay? Now, the whole purpose of this little variable here, it just keeps track of if the data has been created or not. So that will take care of that one. Hey, look at that. This stuff is working now. That's great. Now I am seeing this stuff. This should all go away now, Nita. That's the old way that we were doing it. And anytime we were saying tester, we now can just say data instance, because that's what our singleton does for us. Now, anytime we want to do something with the data, we just say data instance, and we don't have to make new variables or anything like that. So that's looking pretty good. There's somewhere we're still saying tester. Tester. This goes away. And then let's double check this load data up here in the backer level. Let's make sure it's using the singleton. Yeah, it is. So you basically had it right, you know. That stuff is all fine. So then that's showing up, that's great. That's showing up, oh, that's formatted. It's all good. I think you are pretty good there. So let me, do you want me to fork it? Let's fork. We're on fire with the forks. We got Mr. Dip Sauce. Let's check it out.
The dip sauce, though, I think I know what I did, but I'm still wanna waste time. Figure it out.
The sarcasm, man, it's like acid.
You always hurt my feelings.
This is looking good, right? Seems like everything's okay. Let's check the console.
I think the total number of vectors needs to be shown.
Oh, okay, got it. So this is showing an undefined right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's figure that out. So let me go down to your console. So there's project status, get total number of backers. So let's search in the product status for that. Get total number of backers. Yep. Let all backers equal object keys data instance get all backers. So I would say, oh, dude, there's no return. You've got it, but instead of a console log, you're going to say return. Otherwise, I think you're all good there. Although, look at that. 0, 1? What? That seems strange to me. Oh, dude. You need to give it the length. Yeah. There you go. You were really close. You were really close. So the first one is just getting all the backers from the data. But that comes back as an object. It's like an object, and it includes all of their, you know, all the information about the backers. And we don't really need all of that. So we use Object.keys to say we only need their names. Just give us the names. When it gives us the names, it does it as an array. So it actually gives us an array with Bob, Felicia, and whoever else inside of it. And arrays have a property called length that will tell us how many items are in the array. So the end result is, because you have 2 backers, we get the number 2, and that's what we give back to anybody who calls this function. Yeah, yeah. Now my challenge is, can you get it showing up on the screen? Once you've got it showing on the console, can you get it showing on the screen? I think you can.
HTML, right?
Yeah, HTML, you're gonna have to put an attribute in there somewhere.
Similar to what is in the previous one?
Yep, yep. It's gonna be another line in your renderer, basically. Anybody already have the total number showing up? Was that a yes? Oh, got it.
I had it, but then I saw that it was return object key, so I added that in,
Uh-huh.
and it messed it up.
Do you have the dot length?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
I did have object keys in front of it.
Oh,
Just had
okay.
all backers and then dot
Uh-huh.
length,
Yes.
and it worked.
Oh,
And
interesting.
then I added the object keys and the brackets, and it didn't work.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, can we take a look at it?
Yeah, I'll send it to you with just the dot length.
Yeah, let's check it out. Oh, win them. I missed you. Okay, I'll be right with you. Let me take a quick look here. And let's see what we got. Nothing in the console? What? Oh, this is Travis. Oh, sorry, dude. I thought I was in the other one. Okay. All right, let's in that case, I'm gonna go to win them, and then we're gonna go to Travis, and then we're gonna go to you. Sounds good. All right. Now you guys, help me out with this. Sing out if you see what's going on here. Let's take a quick look. All right. Oh, the banana gun. Yes. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's go to the console. Ah, I think I know what it is. This is the same one Nita had. And it was, right, there's one small little thing. Actually, you know what? This is almost the exact same that Nita had going on. So watch what we do here. The first thing is to make this little variable that equals null. Now it looks a little strange, but it's only there to keep track of if the data has been created yet. So once we have that, we can get rid of this tester. We can get rid of anything we were doing with the tester. And let's take a look. Anywhere else that we're using tester? No, it looks pretty good. So now let's double check the load data. We're gonna go up to the backer level and load data. There, data instance, that's great. So the only reason your data.instance wasn't working is because you were missing that little let data instance equal null in the beginning. Yeah. Let's take a look in your data class. Yeah, see right here in line 63? That's kind of the magic. That's where it looks at that variable and it says, oh, if that variable is null, I should make an instance of data. But as soon as it does, well then data instance isn't null anymore. So every time you try to talk to the data after that, it'll make sure you're talking to the one copy of the data. There can only ever be one at that point. I think you're pretty good. Now we are getting this backers, total number of backers undefined. Shall we take a look at that? Or are you like, no, Tim, I want to figure it out myself? Let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look. I mean, you know what, guys? Like, it's the first day back from long weekend. I don't know about you guys. I drank the beers. I ate the turkeys. You know, I'm surprised I can even be here. But we're getting it done, which is good. Okay, so right here, you're calling project status, get total number of backers. That's good. That's what we want. So let's take a look in the project status and see if there's anything strange in there. So there's get total number of backers, great. Oh yeah, okay. This was the same mistake I made in the beginning. So right here, you need to say object keys, just like this. Now I did this, I made the same mistake myself, and I had to fix it up. Object keys, it takes that big object, the one that contains all the information about all the backers, and it says, just give me their names. And then we can count the number of names by saying .length. So the end result is we know how many backers there should be. So now your challenge with them is to get that number showing up on the screen. So you've got a section here that says total backers. Can you get the number 2 showing up to show us how many people have backed the project? It's pretty important, right? Because nobody wants to back a project unless they see that some people are already backing it. So, we need to at least have 2 or 3 people backing, and then other people will get in there and start backing it. Let's take a look at the next one, Travis, I think. Here, let's go here. Oh, did you want a fork of that, Lim, or are you okay? Okay, cool. Just let me know if you need anything. Oh, okay, cool. Let me just close some stuff here because I'm losing track of what I'm doing. All right, so go to this one at the bottom. This one here. Oh, I think I closed it. Oh, snap. Okay, no worries. I remember what we did. I can help you out. But do need to take a look at what Travis has got going on here. Okay, so let's see. So we do have some undefines showing up. Let's take a look here. I want to take a look in the console. Let me refresh. I don't believe there's nothing in the console. Let me refresh this. What? Nothing in the console? How is that possible? Oh, because you have no console logs. Amazing. I know, right? They add up so fast. All right, but they might be useful here. Let's see. So I'm looking at the stuff that we've been seeing today. You do have the data instance equal null. That's great. So that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. All right, let's go in the renderer here. And I am going to throw a console log in. Let's see if it's getting the info. Okay, this looks pretty promising. Yep. So we got the creator. Yeah, this all looks pretty good. Okay. Oh, and those ones are showing up, so that's good. All right. This looks a bit suspicious to me. Info.print funds raised. Because when I look over here in info, I don't see a variable called print funds raised. So there might be something funny going on there. Info.goal. This one looks okay, I think. Do we have one called goal? Yep, we do. Is that one showing up? Yep, that's all good. Okay. So we've basically got 2 undefines. And I'm betting that one of them is this. So let me see if that's true. Okay, okay. All right, so this is, yeah, you're in pretty good shape here. Almost everything is working. It's just this one here where we don't have a property called print funds raised. So let's, we haven't actually written the code for that yet. Let me see if you have. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. I like what you're doing. I think you might just be a little bit ahead of us here. So let me comment this one out for a second, because we're going to work on that. And then let's see if we can, let's get, since you're a little bit ahead, let's get the total number of backers showing up on there. Yeah, let's do it. Total supporters? So there's that. Oh, I see. So you were using this total people. I got it. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, then this should be pretty straightforward. Let's go. Oh, I see. And you put it in a new function. Yeah, that's okay. Sweet. Oh, this will totally work. So let's basically all we have to do is call this. So we can just say renderer dot print number of backers, give it what we need. So we can go render dot print. Oh, you're already doing it. What? Yeah, what's going on there? Let's see. Okay, I'm caught up with you now. So let's go to the project status and look in total people. Project status. Oh, snap. I like what you're doing there, man. You just need to put a getter in there. Yep, I like your style. Yeah, I didn't do it that way, but that's a really good way of doing it. Well, when you put the get, then you no longer have to put round brackets, which is nice because it eliminates the possibility of somebody passing a value in through there by accident. So, oh, sorry. So that's awesome what you've done. Boom. Yeah. I apologize. Took me a little doing at first there to get up to speed on it. Anybody else got the number showing up on the screen? You got it? Yeah? Oh yeah, the cat gun. Yeah, there you go. 2 total backers. That looks good. So let's take a look and see how that's being done. Get total number of backers 2. That looks pretty good. Yep. So let's take a look into project status. And there's our get total number of backers. Yep, that's pretty much perfect. So right in here, you're calling get all backers from the data. That gives us the big object, the one with everything. But then by calling Object.keys, you're saying, I only want the keys, which in this case is just the names of the backers, like Bob and whoever. So once you have that, what it's actually giving you is an array. So anything you could do with an array, you can now do with that. And one of those things is calling .length. That tells us the number of items in it, which is what you got right here. So spiffy. It's good, it's good. Got a couple of people working it out. Let's see, I think I saw Molly on here. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, so this is all looking pretty good. Is there anything in the console? Cannot read property instance of undefined. That's interesting. I'm thinking it might be a typo on the word data, because we always say data.instance. So I wonder about that. Let me do a little search. Oh, I see it. It's here in your static function, Molly. So you've got data.keys.instance. What you really want there is data instance get all backers. And now your console is showing 2 backers. Let's see. Let's go to the renderer. Yeah. Before I look in it, I'm looking in the code. I'm guessing. I don't think it will be yet, because I don't see the renderer updated. So let's take a look. Nope, it's still the same. So you're going to need 2 things. It's going to work very similar to what you've already done. So take a look in your renderer, and you see like how this one updates the name, and this one updates the creator, and so forth. So you're going to need something similar to this, but for your number of backers area. So let's say you wanted it to show here on the total viewers. You would need to go here. Hey. Oh, I'm in the CSS. Jeez. Here we go. This would work. So you've got this H1, and let's say you want to show the number of backers in there. You need to give it some kind of attribute that you can use for JavaScript to select that area. So I'll call it like maybe project backers, something like that. So then over here, you could do something like and for anybody who doesn't have it showing up on screen yet, you could probably watch this because I'm basically doing it now. So, yeah, so we've got the console log showing how many backers. If we want to put it on screen, it's kind of 2 steps. The first was we put an attribute inside the element where we want it to show up. Now we can use that So we write it the same way we write in a CSS selector. So I'm going to say project backers dot inner HTML equals, and then to get the value, you can do it the exact same way that you did it with the console log. So I'm actually just going to copy this and paste it right there. And now, cool, right? So if you wanted to be a little clear about it, you can always update your HTML a little bit. You could be like, you know, because you can still change the HTML.
All my values are all of a sudden off.
Something like that. And let's take a look. Total backers, 2. Lovely. Good work. Do you want the fork? Now I want you to help your neighbor, okay? I feel bad that I didn't fork it. I thought you didn't need one. Oh, we have a return customer, Mr. Dipsauce. Oh, and Mr. Mike. And with them. Okay. All right, so let's, here. Okay. Well, I should probably go in order, right? So let me go to Mike. And then we're back at the top of the order. Oh, and Sunny has something. So let's take a look. Yeah, well, let's check it out.
You've done all that before you did anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's something in your JavaScript here. Maybe, unexpected string. Okay, there might be something funny in here. Did something get changed in here? Why do I feel like a curly brace is deleted? No, maybe not. Maybe not. I sort of feel like I do feel like there's some curly brace action. Oh, dude. Line 37, comma. Somehow a comma got deleted. Kremlins. Evil Thanksgiving spirits. All right. So let's take a look at, let's see. So where are we at here? Okay, let's go to Dipsauce.
My data was
Okay. Well, you know what? If things are going to break, you want them to break big time. It's easier to fix something that's really broken than something that's only a little bit broken. So it's saying project status get total number of backers is not a function. I'm looking at that little letter O and thinking it maybe is supposed to be a capital O in of. That's my guess. But I wouldn't put like big money on it. Let's see. Let me do a little search for get total number of backers. Okay. Let's see in project status. Maybe there's a typo. Oh, nope, that something looks different there, doesn't it? Oh. Okay, alrighty. So I see what's going on here. You were basically doing the technique that Travis is doing, where you have put get like this, which is a good technique. If you want to use that, then you'll have to change things a little bit when you call the function. So let's go with it. We'll keep that in there. What I might do, just, I might change that to a lowercase t, because we basically will treat it like a variable now. So let's go to where you're calling it. Right down here. And what you can do, which is pretty nice, you can remove the round brackets and you can remove the get, and you just totally treat it like a variable. You know what I mean? Probably it's just the console log now. There we go. And we get rid of this. Oh, I deleted too many. There we go. It's still in there somewhere.
I think project status.
Oh, yeah. So let's just get rid of that. There you go. Total number of backers 2. So do you see how that works on it?
Yeah.
That get, that keyword get, it's called an implicit getter. When you put it in there, it means that you no longer have to call it like a function. You can just treat it like it's a variable. Yeah, so you can get rid of the round brackets and just say dot and then the name. And then that get that you've put in there tells it that it must return a value, basically. It's a good technique. I recommend doing it. So that is a nice way of doing it.
Check below the other code because I lost the other part of my variable too, actually.
Somewhere down here?
Oh, okay, everything's fixed. Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right.
I'm pretty sure that was the only problem.
No problem.
Yeah. Do you want a fork?
Yes, please. I have a question for you.
Yep.
So, in this, getting the total number of backers,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, what we're doing here is pulling up that number that we put in the top part. Sorry, under this project. Is it pulling that number, or is it actually counting the number of backers?
It's counting them.
It is.
Yes.
This is what I was trying to figure out because mine is kind of just giving me whatever I put up there. I don't know if it's actually counting, so I don't know if it's working right now.
So what you could do if you wanted to check is maybe add another backer to the top here.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put it in the thing? Or
Sure, yeah. Shoot it at me. Let me just take a look at a couple more here, and then we'll take a look at that. That's a good question. Like you've got the right idea.
So, yeah, it's showing me that, but I don't know if it's actually counting. That's why I wanted.
Yeah. We'll take a look. Because that is exactly what you want. You want it giving you like the real number of backers. Right. Yeah. All right. Who are we at? Sunny. Let's take a look at what Sunny's got here. Looking in the console. Get total number of backers is not a function. All right. Let's take a look. So if you're watching how I debug this stuff, you'll notice some patterns. When I see something in red in the console, usually the first thing I'm going to do is do a search for it. Okay, so there's get total number of backers, and that looks okay. So that makes me think that maybe it's spelled differently in project status. Let's take a look at that. Project status. Oh, I actually don't see it in here. Yeah, Okay, that's what's going on, Sunny. There, we don't actually have the function inside of project status here. So let's go ahead and make it. So we're going to say static get total number of backers okay. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, let's just get all the backers from the data instance. And so let's take a little look in the data and see if we have a method that gives us all the backers. We do. It's called getAllBackers. So I'm going to call that getAllBackers there. Now here's where we can get the number of backers. We do it by saying return Object.keys, and we give it all the backers, and then we get the length of that. And that should give us the number of backers. Let's see. Get total number of backers. Get total number of backers. Oh, typo. Typo on me. I was missing the letter S. There we go. Now in your console, you can see total number of backers, 2. So that's good. That's functioning. Okay. So what we want, now that we can get it, we want it to show up on the screen. So we know that everything that shows up on the screen happens inside the renderer. So we're going to go into the renderer and add one more line of code that will get the total number to show up here on the screen. So there's 2 parts to it. First, let's go to the HTML. And I'm looking for where it says like total viewers. Oh, this is good. So you've already got an attribute called project backers in there. That's good. That's what we need. So let's go to your renderer now and use that to get it showing on the screen. Oh, this is good. So this is basically exactly what you need. You're going to do it the same way. You're going to go to the document, use the query selector, yeah. And then we're looking for an H1 that has the project backers attribute. So just like we did for the others, we start with the H1, then we use square brackets to say, give me specifically the H1 that has project backers attribute. Inner HTML equals project status dot, and then what did we call it? We called it get total number of backers. So get total number of backers. And I think I just made a mistake of some kind. What is it, guys? What did I do wrong here? Oh, geez, you're right. That's it. Ah, whew. Hey, 2. So that's pretty good. Do you see what we did there, Sunny? Yeah. You were really close on everything. Yeah. Good stuff, good stuff. So let me give that a save. Or let me fork that for you. And maybe compare with what you've got. Okay, how are we doing here? Oh, Carolyn is here. We're gonna look at that. Who's 3CIA11? Ah, okay. Let's do yours. What seems to be the trouble? Oh, it's Patricia, right? Okay. Okay, so we got some error showing up here. Okay, let's take a look in the console. Nothing. Interesting. Let me refresh this. There's something it's not liking here. What is it? Ah, okay, unexpected token static. Oh, I know what this is.
I see the 6 feet bracket should be.
Well, this static function here, it needs to go inside the project status. So let's go into the project status code block here. And wait, hold on. Oh, no, this goes into data class.
It should be the up, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I should have listened. But, you know. Here, let's put it in here. Boom. Okay. Okay, so this is missing some of the stuff from last week. So let's go down. It's basically a couple of changes to make so that our singleton is working. So the first thing, great. The first thing I'm looking for, Patricia, which you do have, is this one, data instance equals null. That's great. Once you have that, you can now get rid of these references to tester right here. And this, where it says tester, we can change that to data instance. Because from now on, whenever we're talking to the data, we're going to use data instance. So this is looking pretty good now. Let's see, cannot set property inner HTML of null. So when we see that one, where it can't set the inner HTML, it usually means the selector can't find the HTML. So it could be a typo maybe in the attribute name you're using for the selection. Let's check that. Because really, like, the way we've structured this, it's a little easier to debug now, because basically anytime we see a problem with inner HTML, we know right away that has to be in the renderer, because we only update the screen in the renderer. So let's take a look in there. Interesting. So we got project name, project creator, project goal. Let's take a look here. I'm not immediately seeing a span in the HTML. Let me do a search for span. That's what it is. So let's get this set up. Now I know what you're doing here. You are, yes, okay. So line 24, Patricia, watch how we do this. We're going to put that span in that the selector is looking for, and the closer, and then we give it the attribute project goal. And I think, there you go, of 5,000. Yeah. Okay, so just to point it out for you other guys, this is a nice little trick you can do. if you wanted to keep the word of or any other kind of text inside of there, you can put a span tag just around the piece that you want to overwrite with your inner HTML. Spans don't really do anything. They're like a div, except you can put them around single words or items in a line of text or something like that, and they don't put any line breaks in. So they're really good if you want to select a really specific area here to update, which is exactly what you were doing, so that's great. Do you want the fork, Patricia? Yeah? So we're going to do one more. Oh, nice. Awesome. Very good. So I'm going to do 0 more. And let's do a little bit of, let's take a little break from this project for a few minutes. And I think what we'll do is just look at some basics of working with objects and arrays. So we saw one already, the Object.keys. And that's a pretty nice one. It's very, very handy for us. But there's a bunch of things like that. So here's what I'm going to suggest. We're going to comment out everything we have right now. And we're just going to do a couple of little experiments using the console. When we get a little bit more familiar with how these arrays and objects work, we're going to create our second function that will show us the total amount of the money that has been pledged. Sounds good? Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to go all the way up here, and I'm going to comment out my entire JavaScript.
Should we do it as well?
Yep.
Bracket star. Star bracket.
So all I've done is just like commented out the entire thing.
Star. Bracket. The whole code
Yep, the whole JavaScript.
doesn't show anything then, right?
Well, that's kind of my point. I've turned off all the JavaScript, right? Because the default values are still in the HTML. So this is why I say a good technique, use classes and IDs for your styling stuff. Use attributes for your JavaScript. Because now I can turn off the JavaScript, but if I'm working with a designer, they can still keep working. They could still be doing styling and adding HTML and so forth. So it's a really nice way to work. So I want to show you guys some of the abilities of these objects and arrays. So we're just going to work in the console for a few minutes. This stuff isn't going to affect our project, but it'll help us understand how we can use these things. So let's make a really, really simple little piece of data. I'm going to say let, since we're working with backers, I'll say let backer data equal, and I'm going to make it an array. So how do we make an array? Square brackets. Yeah. It's the little curly ones are an object. The square ones are an array. So we've just made like a little blank array. Let's put a couple objects inside it. So go ahead and make a curly bracket. Now we know that objects always have key and value, key and value, key and value. You always put the little colon in between the key and the value. So let's make one that we will call, we'll give it a key of name. And yup, there's Bob. So right now, what we have is one item in our array. That one item is an object that has a name and a value for the name called Bob. Fairly straightforward so far. Yeah, I mean, like, it seems simplistic, you know, but like even very complex software is built on this kind of a structure. So do one more thing for me. Add another person into the array. Make it Tim, because he's a cool guy. Bob needs a friend. I want you to add a second person into your array.
It's not showing me the doesn't convert.
That's a capital L that you've got there.
What is it?
That should be lowercase l. There you go. There. So now add another person into your array. So here's how we'd do it. We'd put a comma, and now we can put another object. Now, here's the thing about these objects. They should have the same keys. It's really important that they have the same keys. So if my first one had a key called name, my second one should also have a name. That's pretty much the only rule that you got to watch out for. So now we got Tim and Bob both inside the backer data. So what we have here is two objects in an array. So let's try something with that Object.keys that we just used in our project to see how it kind of does its job. All right? So try this. Clear your console. Boink. And let's do it. Let's say console log Object.keys. And let's give it the backer data. Now look what you get in your console. You get a 0 and a 1. Might not be what you were expecting, right? But the reason why we're getting that is because backer data is an array, right? Backer data itself is an array. And every item you put in an array gets a number. So technically that number is its key, right? We usually just say it's the index because that's a common term with arrays. But really an index is a key. It's just they go up by 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put another person into your data and see what happens.
Zero, just for labeling sake, because obviously the first whatever is not going to be 0. One. First anything is going to be 1. Right?
Well, no.
So,
The way a computer looks at it, the first of anything is going to be a 0. Yeah. It doesn't, you know, if you're the first of your line, it would consider you a 0. Yeah.
you got to take that into consideration.
You really do. That's a very common bug. They actually call it the zero index bug. So very, very common thing to throw you off. So what do you think is going to happen if I add, let's say I add Nita in there, right? It can't just be all dudes. Let's add another person in. So if I add in one more person, and this person is Nita. So yeah, you probably did expect that, right? 0, 1, 2, because there's like 3 people in there now. But let's use this object keys on an actual object. So try this. Console log object keys, and this time let's go inside the backer data and get the first person. So just like Mike was talking about, from the computer perspective, the first person is 0. Now look what we get. Instead of a number, we get the actual name key. If you're looking in your data here, this is a key, this is a key, this is a key, value, value, value.
It shows the name, but it didn't show Bob, though. Why?
No, because Bob is the value, not the key. That's what I wanted to get across. Yes, exactly. The key is always on the left, the value is on the right. And it is always in pairs like this. So it is always key, value, key, value. This is good questions. Yeah. I mean, these things are surprisingly important to understand. These small little concepts, they all come together to make pretty cool stuff. So this object keys, it's pretty useful for us because there's lots of times when we will want to see all the keys inside of an object. Shall we try another one? Let's do one more here for practice sake. Try this, guys. Let's make some different data here. Let my pledge equal, and I'm not going to do an array this time. I'm going to do an object. So curly braces. So let's say the date was, January 1. And we put a comma so that I can put another one, like the amount, maybe. That's probably something we'd want to keep track of. $500. Now I want you to console log the object keys for my pledge. Oh, typo. Object. Yeah. And see what you get? You get date and amount. Why? Because those guys are keys. Left, right, left, right. On the left, always key. On the right, always value. Yeah.
On the left backer data, right? When we just display the name part, how would you do it in that variable to display the Bob as well? Or you cannot in this? In the previous.
Yeah, you can. You can. Not to blow your mind too much, but it would be basically, see right here, how this is giving us the name, which is the key. So then inside of here, you could actually use that. You could say backer data 0, oops, 0. I got to be careful here. And that would, I believe would do it. Yeah, there's Bob. But we're not quite there yet. Yeah. I don't want to get into that just yet. But it was a good question, so I wanted to show you that. So the point that I want to get across is that object keys always get you these values on the left-hand side. If you give it an array, arrays don't have this. Arrays have like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'll get something like that. Okay? Now we've used this exact same idea to get the number of backers for our crowdfunding project. Because every backer has a key. And that key was their name. So by using Object.keys, we can actually get the total number of backers. So that's what we did first off. Let me show you some stuff about arrays as well, because we use them quite a lot. So let me get rid of this one right here, just for now. And let's work with this backer data here. First off, how do we add things to an array? By Tim Willison. So there's arrays have a few functions built in that you can use. Let me list them out for you here. The first one is called push. We got another one called pop. Got one called shift, slice, and splice. These are all things that we can do with arrays. They are basically all there to add and remove things from these arrays. So push is pretty straightforward. It will just add a new item into our array. So let's, instead of just writing it inside of here, let's use push to add another person into this array. I'll show you. Looks like this. So we're going to take backer data and say push. Let me push somebody into you. Round brackets, because it's a function. And now let me make one more person in here. So we know they need a name. Who wants to go in here? Who's joining the party? TJ. TJ. He's in there. Now once you've done that, confirm it. Do a console log of your backer data. And what have we got? Object, 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 object. How many is that? 4. So we had 3 people in the party, and we pushed one more person in there. If you expand that, and you look at those objects, one of them is for sure going to be TJ. There we go. So there's TJ, there's Nita, there's Tim, there's Bob. This is getting exciting. Hasn't arrived yet. Late riser. Yeah, you could do that. You could move it up further. The one thing that you had to do first was create backer data. Yeah, so as soon as this is made, you can now push things into it. If I do this, Nita, well, it doesn't know what backer data is yet, so it won't let me push anything into it. And you can use this push as many times as you want. Let's confirm that. Push somebody else in there. Who's going in? Molly's going in there? All right. There we go. And how many objects do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's working, right? So that's the first thing we would want to do. Let's try out the second one, the pop. Pop is the exact opposite. It will take whoever's first in the array and remove them. Want to give it a try? Let's give it a try. Let's do this. We'll say console log backer data dot pop. And look what we have, guys. So take a look at the order here. Bob, Tim, and Nita were already at the party. Woo! Then along comes TJ, and we push him into the party. And then along came Molly, and she joins the party. When we do pop, it takes the last person that got to the party and takes them back out again. It removes them. So in this case, it would be Molly, because she's the last person to go in the array. We can pop her back out again. You see how that works? Push and pop are like the opposite. If this is my array, right, I push Amrit into it. If I want to get him back out again, I pop him back out. It's a funny sounding name, right? But I think it's good. It helps me remember how that works. Do you want to try the other one? What's that?
I understand the definition, but like
The purpose of...
get like Tim out of the party, you pop him?
Yes. It's whoever was last put into the array. Yeah. Which can be handy quite a lot of times. Like, think about your undo function when you're using Photoshop. When you hit the Control-Z, it reverses the last thing you did. They're probably using something like array pop to do that.
That's good for a loop, I think.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Let's say you wanted to make a loop, start at the end, and grab whatever's on the end all the way through the loop. Pop would get you there. Yeah. So you could maybe show things by the latest date or the person's last pledge. Pop is good for those. So we got the push, we got the pop. Anybody want to guess about shift? What shift does?
It just moves the object to the back. The first object to the back. And
That's a good guess. But no. That's a good guess. Here, let's do it. Let's comment down this pop for a second here, so it's back to normal. And that's console log backer data dot shift. Check it out. Bob.
oh, the first
The
one.
first.
Okay.
Yeah. Pop shift is the exact same as pop, except it gets the first person out rather than the last one. Now between the two, you can do quite a lot of things, especially if you're thinking about loops, looping through the array. We got two more. We have the slice and we have the splice. Slice and splice. Sounds violent, right? Pushing them around, slicing them. So these two, okay, everything we've done up to now, you can see that it actually changed the array. Up to now, there hasn't really been a way to make a copy of the array and work on that. So splice lets us do that. So let's do the slice first. Slice lets you take a section of the array, not just one element, the way a pop or a shift does. So here, let's do it. Let's comment out the shift. And let's say console log backer data dot slice. And slice takes two numbers. The first one is the index number. So I'm going to say start at number 0, which we know is Bob, right? Bob's the first guy in there. Then the second number it takes is how many items you want to chop out of here. So I'll say give me 2. So what do we wind up with? 2 objects. And those 2 objects?
Bob and Tim.
Probably Bob and Tim. They should be. Yep, Bob and Tim.
So it's basically saying you're slicing the first 2 out.
Yes, because it's saying start at 0, number 0, and give me 2 of them. Here's my challenge to you now. Slice out Tim and Nita. I bet you can do it.
If I had the 10
Mm-hmm.
and I put in the first number like 2,
Yep.
I would just start to count from the second one I add.
It would actually start from the third
Okay,
because
so
it
the
counts
second-
0.
Okay,
So it's like 0, 1, 2, and it would start from there.
from the third.
Yeah,
Okay,
You got
then I
it.
could put like here like 2
yeah,
and here the number of how many I want from that one.
yes,
But
exactly.
it's random, like
No, not random. It goes in order.
okay,
So
if I
it-
put like 2 in the second number, it's gonna give me the third and the fourth.
Exactly.
Ah,
That's
okay.
exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, good. Very good. Yeah. See if you can get Nita and Tim. Yeah. Because right now we're getting Bob and Tim. So this was my challenge. Can you slice out Tim and Nita? So it's pretty much the same as the way we got Bob and Tim, but we just have to change the number we're starting at. See down here, we started at number 0. Well, Bob's the first guy in there, so he's number 0. So if I change this to number 1, then we should be getting, start with Tim right here. Although, yeah, what's going on here? This should be,
Yeah, I was wondering.
yeah, what's going on here? Because I feel like I should be seeing 2 in there. Ooh, did I mess that up? Let me double check on MDN. MDN array slice. MDN is a great reference, guys. If you need to look up anything, these are the guys who make Firefox, and they make really good documentation. Slice. Oh no, I'm wrong. I was thinking of splice. Oh, I'm wrong. The second number is the finishing number, not how many items. I'm sorry, I mixed up slice and splice. That's my bad. Sorry about that. So let me go back in there. So I'm going to have to change this to 3.
So 1, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
1.
So it's actually the starting index and the ending index that you want. Sorry, I screwed up. I wasn't thinking of the other one. So if I've got 5 items in my array, this guy is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I just want to select these 2, I would say slice 2, comma 3. And it'll give me these 2. Now when it does, you have to realize when you use slice, it takes these elements out. So then my array would have only 3 in it. You know what I mean? These 3 guys left over because these guys got sliced out. It gives it to you in a whole new array. So if you use this, you're basically saying like you want to chop them out of there, work with those. Makes sense, right? So there's one more that I wanted to show you, which was the splice. And let me go to the documentation first. Because splice is a little different. Yeah, this is the one I was thinking of, guys, where the first number you give it is the number you want it to start at, and then the next number you give it is how many items you want to take out. So let's give that one a try. So let me comment out this slice, and let me do console log backer data dot splice, and I'll start with 0 and I'll say give me 2.
It's the same thing though, like walk and
Not exactly the same, because splice doesn't remove them from the original array. When we do slice, it chops them right out. When you do splice, it takes a copy of it, so that your original array still keeps the data inside of it.
copies.
Okay, now here's what I want you to do. Put some notes in your code for each of these little ones you've tested out here. Put a little note beside it with a little explanation in your own language of what it's doing. It's really important to understand these basic things that arrays can do. You'll use them over and over again. So here's what I want, and you got to do it because we're going to be looking at it. I'm going to put a little note here for myself just to say pop removes the last person from the array and gives them to me. So something like that. Shift removes the first person from the array. Yeah, exactly. And of all of these, splice is the only one that doesn't remove it and makes a copy. Yeah.
And so if you want to like something to be displayed, you have to slice it out and then put it into a different.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be a very typical thing. let's say you wanted to show the last pledge from Bob. You could get Bob's pledges, pop the last pledge out of there, and give it to the renderer, which could then put it on the screen. And that would be a nice MVC flow. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. We're going into this stuff because now we need to get a little bit more sophisticated when we're putting our stuff on the screen. Like, for instance, for us to show how much money is being pledged, we're going to need something like a loop, right? Because we're going to have to go through all the pledges, get all the values, add them all up, and put it on the screen. So it's a good time for us to learn a little bit about how arrays and objects work. Slightly, because the data types are not set. You don't have to allocate the length of your collections ahead of time and things like that. So I'll put a little note for myself here that splice makes a copy rather than changing the array. So some little notes like that are good for you. Indeed. Okay, so we've seen how we can put things in the array, how we can get them out again. We've seen how we can get the keys of these objects and change things. The next really important thing I would say is, like, how do you write loops? How do you iterate through these collections? So we've seen a couple ways up to now. We did one called the for in loop, which you've used also in the last semester. It's usually the first one that you learn, but just for fun, let's write one and refresh our memory on how these loops work. So let's loop through this backer data array. So loop style 1, the for in, as they call it. So that one looks like this. You say for var I equals 0, while I is less than backer data dot length I plus plus. And then you put your curly braces, and now you have your loop, basically.
Same like C.
Yeah, these three little pieces inside here are kind of the three parts of this style of loop. I is a counter. So you start the counter at 0. The next part says, I want to keep this going while the counter is less than the length of my data. Now we've seen that length gives us the total number of items in the array. So right now it's going to be like 5, I think. We've got 5 objects in there. So we're basically saying, well, I is less than 5, run this loop. The last thing here is it's a short form for saying increase the counter by 1. Now you've got the option, if you want, you can increase the counter by 2 or 5 or however much you want, but usually you're going to do it by 1. So with that loop, let's see if it's working.
Sorry, if you want to distrct, it will be minus minus.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then you'd probably want to make your use something like a greater than rather than a less than. So let's do a console log backer data, and we can use the square brackets and the counter to get the value from the backer data. Take a look down there, guys. We see object, 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 object. So it has looped through all the items in the array. Pretty good, pretty good. But it's not the only one that we have available to us. There's some newer ones that are maybe a little more powerful in some situations and are often a lot easier to do than this style of loop. So maybe we can take a look at some of those. They're becoming pretty popular. So one I'll point out here. Yeah, in the docs here, we got this one called for each, and it's pretty nice. So this is maybe a little more modern way of doing this. If you're working in this stuff for a little while, you're going to hear people use the term functional programming. What they're basically talking about is, you know, rather than doing this system of counters and things like that, they'd rather just write a function that describes what they want to do with each one of these elements. So let's do this same loop, but with a functional style. It looks like this. Functional style using for each. So with this one, we actually start out with the array, and then we call dot for each, round brackets,